Hi everyone, my name is Patty Wunder. I am a director of Team WunderBar. I am in New Zealand. However, you can see that I am, or maybe hear that I am American. So I just wanted to come to you. I am very much stepping out of my comfort zone. This is really uncomfortable for me, but it's something that I think I need to do to help my team from different countries all come together and see my face and kind of get a better gist of hearing me instead of always typing. So I seem to do really well with bookings, and I don't know why that is, but I do. I don't struggle with them as much as I know a lot of people do. And so I thought I would do like a training session with different parts step by step to help my team, and if anybody else is watching, you make booking a little bit simpler. I hope it works. If you have any questions or feedback, please let me know. So with anything, you're going to have to get some good planning. So how do you plan for bookings? My favorite way to plan for bookings is a week at a glance sheet. Looks like this. It has Monday through Sunday across it. Can't remember, it's backwards. And then it has your Monday, the morning, afternoon, evening, things like that there. What you want to do is basically cross out anything that can't be moved. So if you have a full-time job, if you volunteer, if you have church, if you have kids activities, things like that, they get marked off first because you can't move them. For instance, I have Mondays are my busy day. So Mondays I volunteer, and because I volunteer, I try to book or schedule all my errands around that volunteering appointment. I schedule my physio appointment because I'm recovering from back stuff. I schedule my date night is Monday night because I'm already in town and he works in town. It just logistically works a little bit better if we just make it that night. It's also usually my cheat night. So we can go out to eat and it's all good, or go to the movies. The other thing that doesn't ever get moved is training calls on Tuesdays. Tuesday is training day. Tuesday is training day. Always, 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 always. If you cannot make it to the training call that we have every Tuesday, I do recommend that you still train on Tuesdays. So if it hasn't been loaded into Workstation yet, I do recommend that you watch something on YouTube, that you listen to something on Spotify or SoundCloud that is motivating, that is helpful for your business and for your brain, to help you get inspired and get some new ideas. And I know when I listen to them, I feel more like working. So you don't have to be motivated to sit down and listen to them, but once you do, it's usually a good thing. So I do recommend Tuesday trainings, no matter what. Even after the kids go to bed, just sit down, make yourself a cup of tea, and sit down and listen to a training. And most likely you'll end up with some notes and things to do. After you have your concrete things that cannot be moved, you put in your family time, because that's why most people do direct sales, is because they want to work around their family. So put your family time in. If there's certain things you do, or game night or family night or whatever, that goes in first. Basically put in everything first. Then whatever's left is Scentsy time. Well, let me go back. Put in your time. If you notice, I have Patty time written in different places. Patty time is any time between, usually in the morning, because Patty does not like waking up early in the morning. And Sundays can come and go as Scentsy days. So if I can book a party in there, I will, because it doesn't happen real often, but if they want to, I will. I have other times. I'm quite lucky I don't have kids, so I do have a bit of play with my day, so I can just shut my phone off during parts of the other days or something like that when I need some Patty time. And my office time is kind of scattered. When you have a team, you have to make sure that they're doing okay. So I do check in with them. I check in with customers. I do follow-ups. All that kind of stuff should be in your calendar if that is something that you definitely need to schedule that time for. So Sorry about the phones and the dinging. So basically, if you're really short with time, put phone calls, because you only have an hour on this day and you only have 15 minutes on this day and you only have a half hour on that day. Actually write down what you plan to do on that day. Follow-up phone calls, text bookings. I highly suggest, if you're limited on time, that you check out Tiny Torch and make your weekly post for Facebook or whatever you are posting on social media, to have them go out every day and just take 1 full hour and just set it all up for the entire week. It'll save you a week and it still looks like you're active and consistent on your page, and it will help you tremendously. So schedule all that kind of time in here and stick to it. As I mentioned, there's date night. One of the things I can honestly tell you from being in direct sales since 1995 is make time for hubby, make time for kids, and make separate time for hubby and separate time for kids. If you've ever done direct sales before, like I have, men can kind of get a little bit skeptical. When you joined Scentsy, they were like, oh, crying out loud, here we go again. What are we doing now? And while they have the right to feel that way, because things didn't work and you did get disappointed and you did get frustrated and you did quit or whatever happened, this has been a true game changer for me. And I had a lot of success in America with it, but I didn't here. So Earl had every reason to not believe in me or think it was just another phase I was going through. But I worked, and I worked since the day I started, even in bed recovering from surgery. I made sure I listened to things all the time, every day. I was listening to as much training as I could by Katie Farner or Jamie Sollins. I was on YouTube all the time. So when you have date night, whenever that is for you and your man, that should be about him and you. If you can shut Scentsy off so you don't talk about it, that is even better. In our house, it's really hard. And usually there's been date nights where Earl and I are sitting at a restaurant trying to crunch numbers because it's the last day of the month. There's somebody on my team while we have dinner at a restaurant. So he does understand and he is supportive, but there's some days where he just needs Earl time. And with that, he gives me a countdown, because from 6:30 to 8:30, it's kind of Earl time. And so when he comes home and he looks at his watch, because he's sick of me saying Scentsy this and Scentsy that and Scentsy this, he'll be like, you have 4 minutes to get it all out. Hurry up. So it's kind of a joke in our house. Like, you have 4 minutes to say Scentsy and then you can't say it anymore for 2 hours. But he is really, really, really supportive. It's just, it is my life. So he gets to hear about it, just like I hear about his job. I try anyway. So fill out everything that needs to be done during your week that can't be moved. Make sure there's you time in there. I don't care if it's a daily walk. I don't care if it's a half hour of just quiet time somewhere with a book. You need that quiet time as well, for your brain, for your home, for your kids, for your hubby, for you, for your business. You need that balance. Balance is really hard when you got a lot of stuff going on. And balance is really hard when you're really motivated and you have your own business. And I struggled with it and did poorly when I was in America, because I was just on fire and go, 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 go. Here, this time around, I've actually done pretty well. Earl will laugh, but I do live Scentsy. It is wherever I go. However, I can shut my phone off and ignore it and then come back to it now. And that was a big thing for me to try to do. So not because of social media, but because I just wanted to make sure everybody was getting help and everybody was getting attention. And I was answering people's calls right away and messages right away, and everything was right away. And I just didn't want them to think I wasn't there for them, because when I started Scentsy, I felt really alone. I mean, I had Jacqueline, Roy, and I had my sponsor at the time, but they were on a different time zone. And so before I went to bed, I'd have to ask a question. I'd have to wait for an answer. And it was really frustrating because I wanted the answer then and now. So I know how that feels when you want to know the answer to something and you're not going to get it. It's really frustrating. So I just was trying to overcompensate, I think, for that with my team. So balance. Fill this out. Look at it and be firm with your family time and be firm with your Scentsy time. How many parties a week do you want to have to get to your goal? What are your goals? Why did you join Scentsy? You need to know those things before you can probably fill this out, because for me, usually my parties are held on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays, but sometimes they happen on Sunday, which is why it's a dual day for me. However, if I'm not at a party those days, I'm still working, because those are work times. So when you're done filling this out, you put this up somewhere where your family can see it, because they will know, nope, mama's working. Nope, mama's working. Oh, we get mom tonight from this time to this time, or oh, it's pizza night, or oh, it's movie night or game night or whatever. And you stick to that, because they will respect you. Husband will know that you're serious, and is this not just a, oh, here we go, another phase. And you will get further in your business, and you will feel more in control and not so overwhelmed. Because if you're thinking of all the stuff while you're supposed to be doing something else, you will feel overwhelmed, and you will get like freaked out, and you'll be like, oh, I can't take it. It's just too much to think about. Break it down, break it down, break it down. You can do this. It doesn't take much, but you just stick to what you have time available. Okay. If you have questions, holler. The second thing is, you can get this sheet at this lady's website. Her name is Anne Howie. She wrote the book, Let's Get This Party Started, and she is in New Zealand. I am in this book as well. But if you go to thepartyplanexpert.com, she's actually got lots of templates and things that you can download and print off and things like that. So give it a look at and see what you can use, but that's what I use. The second part of this homework would be to have a calendar for your parties. We get free calendars from various places during the year. And so I like the small calendars because they fit nicely in my bag to go to parties. Go through the entire calendar and mark off every day that you cannot, under any circumstance, do an appointment. You just can't. For instance, I was out of the country. So was I talking Scentsy? Yeah, of course. And I was on a free cruise to Mexico. And then I was visiting my mom in the States and things like that. So, but I still had these booked, and everything was sent out before I left, so that all these hostesses were still taken care of before I left. But I went through the whole year and marked off everything, that we had to go to. So people knew that they can't book that. So when I'm at a party, they usually say, I'd like to have a party. And I say, great. And so I say, here, pick a day, anything that doesn't have an X on it. And it makes it really simple for them, because they can visually see the calendar. I'm the same way. I can't look at my phone, even though I love technology. I can't look at my phone and go, yeah, I think that works. I can't do it. I actually need to visually see the squares in this order. I can't do the vertical ones where it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't understand those. They just confuse me. It just, my brain doesn't work that way. So I'm not sure if anybody else is like that, but I need the squares, and I need them to be in order just like this. So, so I have these. I have my team meeting there every month. It's on the third Sunday of every month, so it will always be there. And then my party bookings get booked in that way. So, for instance, I have a very busy month. I actually circled a couple of the days where I don't have a party yet. And my goal is to fill those days. So I'm going to have a special thing going on for those, because I have a big goal for this coming month. And so at a quick glance, I know exactly what's going on with my business and exactly when I can take a booking. So when I get a text and someone says, hey, can I have a party? And I say weekend, which we're going to go into a different training, weekday or weekend. And they say a Saturday. I say, well, you got two choices. You got the 9th and the 30th. Which one works best for you? Because I don't play. And to be honest, I'm usually booked a couple months in advance. So, so that kind of comes into play there as well. So know your calendar. I don't memorize everything. Oh my God, I'd forget everything. But this helps me heaps, and it helps my customers at a party to book a party really easily without having to ho-hum and then they change their minds. So that is my quick tips, which it's 15 minutes almost. So your 3 pieces is plan your week in advance, figure out what time is Scentsy time. That's your main goal. Block everything that you need to block off, and then figure out what is Scentsy time. And what does Scentsy time mean? Does it mean party? Does it mean bookings? Does it mean, because if it's an hour, obviously you can't do a party, but you could do a sip and sniff at a coffee shop because they're done in an hour. You could do phone calls, you could do follow-ups, you could do booking, you could do social media. So identify what you're going to do on what days. Some people use theme days, like Sunday sample day. So they make like I do that often. I make samples on Sundays. I do training on Tuesdays. I do, you could do wax Wednesdays where you share about a wax or something like that, or booking Thursdays or party Friday or whatever. Just whatever works for you. Figure out a system so that you're not overwhelmed, but you know exactly every single day what you're doing, and your family does too, and they know exactly why you have dinner on the table and you're at your office. Or in your special place in New Zealand, because houses are a little smaller here. So I hope that makes sense. Ask questions if you need to. Second thing is, little calendar, take to your parties. If you don't have one of these and you don't want to buy one, or you don't have lots of money to do that, just go onto Google and Google April, May, June calendar. Go through and cross out every day that you cannot do a party based on what you've done on here. Okay, so week, months, and do it a couple months out, because I still do really well booking 2 or 3 months out. Yeah. And then if you want some more information on how to get the party started and some party ideas,